Hello and welcome to the show. I'm back on Project Cars 2, tackling a snowy Nurburgring once more. Now, if we are going to beat the lap time set by the Bentley, we're going to need a serious bit of machinery, and this Evo 6 time attack car might just be that. It has all the strengths that we saw from the rallycross vehicle. Very, very quick acceleration, all-wheel drive traction. And it doesn't really have the weaknesses. It's got a much higher top speed, not going to be limited by the gearing in the same way, and it's got a pretty damn high amount of downforce. Perhaps not quite as much as you got from the Bentley, it's heavier than the Bentley, perhaps not quite as sophisticated as the Le Mans winner, but it's still going to be mighty fast when it gets to the corners, and it's going to have traction, and it's going to have 940 horsepower going through all of those wheels to get it out the other side. It's a monster, and it may well stand a chance of beating that 8 minute 14 that is our current fastest lap. Of course, I do only get one lap around the Nurburgring, which means the vehicle needs to be relatively accessible in terms of its performance. Cars like the Formula A, for example, are very quick vehicles, but incredibly difficult to extract the speed out of. Now, I don't foresee that being a particular problem with the Evo, bearing in mind it is all-wheel drive and so on. However, there is still a lot of power in this car, and I suspect if things go wrong, they'll tend to go quite wrong at a very, very high speed. The other, and always interesting thing, is going to be the braking performance of this. We don't want the brakes to be, well, locking up is a very easily done thing, and in a car of this sort of speed, if you misjudge that braking point and you can't get it stopped, yeah, you're going to have a really, really big off. How much? Okay, we can get away with an alright amount of brake pressure before we start locking the wheels. We're probably going to see less sideways stuff from this car. I mean, immediately, I'm seeing the way that this car is I say that, we're going to have some sideways stuff early on. I've got to catch that with a bunch of throttle. There is considerably more just grip overall in this than we saw from the rallycross car, and I don't want to be going sideways unless I don't have a real option. The rallycross car, it doesn't really get turned in amazingly. You can't quite carry corner speed, and this thing is stupido quick. We're not going to take that much speed up here, but we are going to take a lot of speed. That's quite a lot of speed. Yeah, we'll get away with more corner speed, and if we're sliding around, that is technically, you know, wasting momentum that could be potentially used for going forward when you have the level of grip this car does. God, it is quick. It's also slightly out of gears. That's alarming. I was not expecting this. I mean, the game reckons it'll do 180. I was not expecting it to run out of gears. I mean, I guess it was getting up towards 180 down there. Come on, we can get a little bit of sideways on the exit. Just not too much. There we go. Just bounce across the curves. And again, we're going to be flat out down here. I've got quite a lot of confidence already in my ability to attack the curves. Doesn't seem to upset the Evo a terrible amount, which I like to see. Oh, this is a lot of speed in a dangerous corner. There's grip. There's a lot of grip in this car. There's still a finite amount of grip, and that was a little bit pushing it. It's also a very, very thirsty car. We should have enough to make it around. Christ, we should have enough to make it around, but that is, yeah, drinking its petrol. The rallycross car got a little bit close, but it was always going to make it this. I'm now looking at that fuel gauge at the amount, it's like 2 litres in a minute. So, yeah, we're going to have to, well, hope that they gave it enough of the juice before the start of the run, I guess you could say. Oh, we're going to have to slow it down here. That's a horrible, horrible downhill braking zone. Power-wise, actually a little bit strange going on in this. It's not quite the same immediate dump of power, even though this is more powerful than the rallycross car. The rallycross car deployed its power more readily, shall we say. Well, I guess with the anti-lag systems they have on those cars. This, it does take it a little bit. It doesn't feel like there's 940 horsepower right up until the point where you smack the red line, then you've got to change up, and then it doesn't feel like you've got 940. Well, I say that. I mean, we are going alarmingly quick on the snow. Yeah, there are just times, I guess it's probably, maybe it's even to do with the way the all-wheel drive system's set up. You don't really slide this car around, not in the same way that you did. I can't slide it around with like the Scandinavian flicks as I like to do with the rallycross car. I'm not. Like, I'm approaching these corners, I know I've got good grip and I know I've got good traction, but I'm approaching these corners with way more speed than we are used to. Oh, that's going to be a dumb decision by me. I thought we could get away with that. Apparently, we could not. It's just sort of a skid up the circuit into the wall. It's not the worst thing that could have befallen our car around here. Now, we do have a curse system, and in this I might just about trust to be able to deploy it without spinning away all of the power. It's actually not making a huge amount of difference, I'm going to be honest. Formula X I never used because I didn't want to. It was already sketchy at best. Don't want to suddenly dump out to however many extra horsepower through the back of that car when it's already sketchy. But this has got the traction. It doesn't actually seem to be making a huge amount of difference to the vehicle. Okay, I'm pleased with the braking performance, and I'm pleased with that. That's given me some confidence. We'll just stay full throttle. Don't go and brush the Armco over there. Up towards the carousel we go. I mean, we are doing very, very well in terms of lap time here. This is going to be, I think, an absolutely ridiculous time if I can keep it all together. Keep it planted on the road. Don't visit another barrier. I mean, time attack cars are going to be something pretty damn special, especially when you've got this level of grip in the snow. It's still, I mean, it moves around a lot. It moves around a lot, but that's because you can be so very aggressive with the throttle. I expected 940 horsepower to be lairier than this. I really did expect it to be lairier than this around this circuit. I have driven the Time Attack Evo in the snow once on a live stream. We raced these around Oschersleben. Amazing, entertaining fun it was. However, perhaps like one of the most impressive things with this car is that it's gaining speed not just from the throw it around in the corners, sliding it about, getting out the other side, and so on. It's gaining speed just through the corners, being driven like a normal race car. And I can be aggressive with the curbs. I don't worry too much if a wheel's going to wander out towards the grass or there's going to be a bump somewhere, because I believe that the car has got the grip to get away with it. Although it's a little bit in the wrong gear coming up over that crest. Probably not going to matter a great deal. Oh, okay, there's a bit of understeer. Kept two wheels on the circuit, so that's okay. Oh, slow down here. Gosh, the speed you are approaching corners is completely different in this car to just about everything else you will have ever driven. Certainly in these sort of conditions, it's unfathomably quick. In places where you aren't normally unfathomably quick, it's still moving around a touch through all of that. We are doing, I think, pretty damn well in terms of the lap time so far. I mean, the Bentley, while it wasn't all-wheel drive and wasn't quite as terrifying in some ways, I say terrifying, it wasn't quite as brutal as this. The Bentley was still very, very good around this circuit. The Bentley still carried a lot of corner speed, and despite being rear-wheel drive, that still had more than enough traction to get out of these corners with a fair amount of go. So we head on to the main straight. We will burn through whatever curve. Actually, this has got a surprisingly large amount of curves held in here, and it has no issue deploying. We're going to do 180 miles an hour. Oh, Bentley, it looks like you might be in trouble with this one. Yeah. I mean, that's actually it out of gears as well. It could go potentially faster than that 182. We'll save perhaps a little bit for the squirt towards the line. What are we looking at time-wise? Now, we've still got to get the braking right down here. Still sketchy, even with... Oh, might have gone down one too many by accident there. Still sketchy, even in a car like this. Through these final couple of corners we go. We're going to have more than enough petrol to make it. We will stump the throttle. It's not going to go quite sub 8 minutes. Oh, almost. Couldn't do it sub 8 minutes. Oh. 8:01.9. 8:01.9 for the Evo. That's a stupid... I mean, at the end of the day, am I surprised this beat the Bentley? Not particularly. As I said at the start, it doesn't have the drawbacks of a rallycross car. It has all of the strengths. But that is in the snow, that is a mad time. I mean, going sub 8 minutes around the Nurburgring is a pretty damn impressive feat for a large number of cars in normal conditions. Let alone when you're talking about the snow. Yes, this is a stupendously fast car. However, 8:01.9 will... well, it'll put the Time Attack Evo to the very top of the table, and this is going to be an incredibly tough... I mean, the Bentley was always going to be difficult to beat. We knew that. Well, I say, when that time was run, I never expected it to quite go that fast, but when that time was run, it was going to be difficult to beat. It was going to take a hell of a machine. This is the sort of car to do it. The question is there going to be anything else that could go faster than this? Even, I think, the modern LMP cars, I don't think they're going to be able to touch this. They'd have to be able to out-corner it. I think that's about the only way they could touch it. Be able to out-corner it, like carry more speed, because this will always have the traction and kind of the power advantage in some ways on those. Yeah, that is a massively quick lap time. That is a massive... I'm slightly disappointed I couldn't do it a sub 8 minute. Like, if I've had an absolutely 100% perfect run, I think it probably could. But for a first lap with the car, I'm not too displeased with that. Well, there we go. We have got a new leader. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.